Welcome to another coronavirus video. In this one, I'm going to talk about what is the best way to not get SARS coronavirus 2. The best way is to not come within 27 feet of another person, or even better, 27 miles. There's no true way to prevent getting coronavirus. But why did I say 27 feet? Well, that's because that's how far it can travel when it gets airborne. Something I went into great detail in my airborne transmission video, which is one of the ways this virus is transmitted. But let's get more into the nitty-gritty of aerosol transmission. During normal breathing and speech, tiny particles are emitted mainly from the mouth. These particles can range in size, with the smallest being less than a micron and the biggest being over 500 microns in diameter. Now, to put some perspective on that, the average diameter of a human hair is about 80 microns. The other way coronavirus is transmitted is through contact droplets and respiratory droplets. So that's why it's important to wash your hands and not touch your face with dirty hands, and to wear masks or face coverings to minimize respiratory droplets from spreading that virus from one person to the next. But these masks don't prevent someone from inhaling the virus if the virus is in the air close to them. And so if you're in close quarters with someone else, especially if you're indoors and if it's not well ventilated, and especially if other people are not wearing a mask or a face covering, how can you prevent inhaling the virus? The best thing you can do to prevent inhaling the virus into your lungs is to wear an N95 mask or an Elastomeric Respirator Mask. So here is an N95 Respirator Mask. It's tight-fitting and it filters out at least 95% of airborne particles as small as 0.3 microns. But the CDC recommends that the public not to purchase these and not to wear them. And there's multiple reasons for that. So these N95 masks are being reserved for healthcare workers, and you can't even get these on Amazon right now. They're also uncomfortable to wear, and your voice gets muffled, or it might make you feel smothered. It partially obstructs airflow in and out of your mouth and your nostrils. So if you have an underlying lung condition like COPD, emphysema, probably not something you can tolerate for very long. So me personally, I have exercise-induced asthma, especially in the cold weather. So otherwise, I have healthy lungs. When I put this on, it does feel like it impairs my breathing a little bit, especially going up a flight or two of stairs. You really notice it, and it's just not that comfortable, and it does feel like it's smothering your face. So not something you want to wear for a very long time. Also, these have to fit properly on your face to be effective, and in order to do so, you can't have most types of facial hair because that can disrupt a good seal of the mask. An elastomeric respirator is a reusable device with exchangeable cartridge filters. Like an N95, it also filters out at least 95% of airborne particles as small as 0.3 microns. It fits tight against the user's face, but is more comfortable than an N95. Before reusing the mask, all of its surfaces need to be wiped down with a disinfectant. So although both of these are not perfect, they are very effective at preventing inhaling the virus. So these are the best ways to prevent inhaling coronavirus, as well as other viruses like influenza and measles. But wearing these is not necessarily that practical. But then, just last week, another doctor saw my video on airborne transmission, and they messaged me on Instagram asking me if I heard about these new Respokare N95 masks. So after she messaged me, I looked it up online and I did a lot of research. The company that makes this mask is called Inonix. At first, I thought this would be some sort of gimmicky mask, but I was wrong. I was impressed enough to actually reach out to them and ask if I could review the mask and possibly make a video about it, and they sent me a few samples. So here we are. So just like a regular N95, such as this one here that we use at the hospital, which is made by the company 3M, this mask will filter out particles, same thing, as small as 0.3 microns. It's also listed on the CDC's website of NIOSH approved N95 respirators. And it's also FDA approved. So what sets apart this mask from this other regular N95? For one, this one is much more comfortable to wear. You've probably seen pictures of healthcare workers with marks and lines and even bruising on their face as a result of wearing the N95s. And from my personal experience, they're just not comfortable, especially for more than an hour or two. So the company Inonix, the one that makes this mask, They claim that this can inactivate up to 99.9% of particles, meaning viruses and bacteria, within minutes. So not only does it trap viruses and bacteria, but also destroys them. So let's take a closer look. This new N95 Respokare Mask has actually 4 layers, and the innermost layer is built of soft materials to ensure comfort during periods of long use, and it's also water resistant, which is nice. On top of that layer, there's also 3 more layers that serve to not only trap fine particles, but one of the layers contains copper and zinc ions, which serve to destruct viruses and bacteria. Also, the outermost layer here has an acidic coating, creating a low pH environment, which also helps to destroy viral and bacterial proteins. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any published evidence of this in a medical journal. On their website, this is what they write. As demonstrated in vitro lab testing on 5 minutes contact with the surface of the respirator under test contact conditions, amount of pathogens killed by the Respokare NIOSH respirator calculated relative to the amount of microbes recovered from an inactive control mask resulted 95% confidence interval. All validation tests were conducted in compliance with good laboratory practice regulations and pursuant to international standards by certified independent laboratories in the United States. They also show tables of which viruses and bacteria become activated within a few minutes. So this includes not only coronavirus, but also other viruses and bacteria that can become airborne, like influenza, like measles, and some bacteria like tuberculosis. And it also helps to prevent inhaling allergens and pollution. So if you have lots of allergies, probably a nice investment as well. So the proper way to put this mask on is to, well, first of all, have clean hands. So you're going to want to wash your hands or use hand sanitizer, one that doesn't contain methanol. And take this like a cup and just pull the strings back over. Okay. And then you're going to want to bend the metal frame around your nose. So you're going to have a good fit there. And that's it. And I can tell you, this is way more comfortable than this N95. And I do feel like it's easier to breathe. I don't feel like I'm as smothered. Now, is it as easy to breathe with this thing? No, this is one of those regular medical masks that does not prevent inhaling the virus. And so this prevents respiratory droplets from spreading to other people. It's not going to affect your breathing. There are no medical exemptions to wearing one of these. This, although it's better than this right here, it still could cause you to have some difficulty breathing or feel like you have more difficulty breathing. But I got to tell you, it's way more comfortable and I don't feel as smothered compared to the regular N95. And for the first time since the pandemic started, I'm going to be flying. So not only going to be wearing this mask to prevent inhaling the virus, but I'm going to have my goggles on the plane that wrap around. That way I'm not going to get the virus in my eyes. So this is something I'm going to buy more of, not only for myself, but for my friends and family. So if you're interested in getting this mask, I'm going to put a link to it in the description below. Also, I'm going to give away 10 brand new masks, these masks, to subscribers of this channel. Not every subscriber, because that would be insane, but this is what I'll do. Within the first 24 hours of me posting this video, send me a direct message on Instagram, and in your message type in capital letters, subscriber here. So what I'll do is send these masks to the first 10 that message me on Instagram. Then I'll be in contact with you to get your shipping address. And once I have that, I'm going to ship them directly to you. Also, one more thing, if you're around other people, don't forget to protect your eyes with goggles or glasses. That way the virus in the air can't get into your eyes. And try not to touch your face or mask without having clean hands. So stay safe, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification if you haven't done so already. And if there is a topic I haven't covered yet that you really want me to discuss, type it in the comments section below and I will try to make one on the most in-demand topics. So see you in the next one. So about to fly for the first time since the pandemic started. And as you can see, I have these glasses or goggles, or my motorcycle goggles, and they don't let anything come in from the sides. I also have this new N95, which is now available to the public. You don't have to be a healthcare worker to get this mask. And it's actually way more comfortable than the regular ones that are made by 3M that I wear in the hospital.